right, welcome to video 3, derivatives of inverse trig functions. Today we're going to talk about inverse tangent or arctangent. And we're going to start as usual by writing the y equals arctangent of x. And we're going to take the tangent of both sides because then we can just use implicit differentiation. So when we take the derivative of each side with respect to x, we get secant squared y dy dx is equal to 1, which means that dy dx is equal to 1 over secant squared y. But of course, as usual, we want to write this in terms of x, not in terms of y, just so that we don't have to constantly be going back and finding the arctangent of our input so that we can plug it in. Well, what do we know? Another trig identity is that secant squared is equal to 1 plus tangent squared. But of course, tangent of y is the same as x, which means that secant squared is equal to 1 plus x squared. And so we can rewrite the derivative with respect to x of arctangent of x as 1 over 1 plus x squared. Boom. There you are. That was an easy one. Let's do an example where we use that. We have a particle motion, happens a lot in calculus. And our particle for times greater than or equal to 0, the position is expressed as the arctangent of the square root of x. Notice that we are going to have a chain rule here, a chain rule issue. So what we do is we say that, oh, by the way, the problem is to find the velocity at time 16. So we know that v of t is equal to the derivative of x of t. We know that this is the inner and that therefore this is the outer. Excuse me. So we have the derivative of the outer, which is 1 over 1 plus x squared, but in this case, u squared. So u is equal to the square root of x times the derivative of u. Well, we'll just go ahead and write this one out. We've got x to the 1/2. Oops, excuse me. U is equal to x to the 1/2, which means that the derivative of u is 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. So here we've got that the velocity at time t is 1 over 2 root x times 1 plus x, square root of x squared. Sorry, I've got a bit of a tickle in my throat. So the velocity at time 16 is equal to 1 over 2 times the square root of 16 times 1 plus 16. That's 4. We've got 8 times 17, and 8 times 17 is 136. And we don't have units in this case, so we won't label this with units. If we'd been given units, we would add that on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. I know it was super short. I want to keep this to one video per inverse trig function. So